the burning sun. So 20 million churches are all waving in the air. And a seething prostitute said she once had a kill. And all the little children that dance in the grass. Inside the nation, that would be the last. There ain't gonna be no kings, they won't wanna sit and sail. When the heroes run like rats from the ship. Woke up this morning and I went for the sight of your eyes and the kiss. Don't know how you feel, but with the moon falling down, I'd like to spend the rest of my life in your room. Hate to pumpkin pie. It's Halloween outside, you got some in your eye. Better cut across the room. Smile at me, ignore all my woes. And a bathroom stall. You are the best of them all. Talk about romance movie. And the ones that I might like. I lied about all the world that I told your friend. You're still on my mind. That train never left. And everything I needed is gonna go away. And everything I wanted will never stay. It's like a Halloween costume. It comes to town. Every good thing must come to an end.
Hey, what's going on? Chris Bushman's back with NFGL Live! Hey! And tonight we're going to be looking at the Commodore 64 some more because that's what I got set up and I'm still trying to figure out some things with the Commodore 64. In particular, we're going to be messing around with some cassette games. So, probably about a week or two ago, I got my cassette deck for the Commodore 64 working properly, at least loading games, and got the head aligned about as best as I can. But I didn't really have any probable working cassettes that were like official cassettes. I only had like a lot of stuff written by the previous owner, or some cassettes that had really been seeing some wear and tear, so they weren't going to load at all. So we have 3 games here. We have Turbo 64, which is some sort of indie racing game sort of thing. We have the election game, which I'm not exactly sure what this game is all about. I was assuming some sort of like electoral college political sort of thing. And then there is a Matador game called Raging Beast, which I have loaded up in there right now. I was kind of looking at some of the instructions prior. And that's kind of what we're going to be looking at tonight and see what happens. What's up, Andy? Welcome to the stream, man. Is that Nate? As a little emoji there. That's fun. But yeah, so let's load this up. So first thing will be we're going to do Raging Beast. This was developed by either published or developed by Firebird. Probably published by Firebird. But if you want to do a quick shortcut for loading this, I guess what you do is you press Shift and Run Stop simultaneously. Yep. Then play. And we will see if this loads. Because it also could be that all the tapes are bad and this will just do absolutely nothing tonight. Because these were like $5 each off of Etsy. So, hey, who knows? The tapes looked like they were in decent shape, so I was thinking they may not be too bad off. But again, you never really know. But I think Raging Beast is probably the game that I have. Olay. Let me press the Commodore key to continue. So at least we can read the name of the game. This is probably the game that I have the least amount of curiosity about, so I figured we'll kind of start with this one. But you must make as many passes as possible using only your red cloak. If you last long enough in the ring, the mighty bull Alfonso, a loop will be thrown. With the mighty bull Alfonso, a loop will be thrown from the crowd, which you'll have to place over the bull's head. If you succeed, you will see your name in the winner's poster. The glory will be yours, but you will have to re-enter the ring to face Alfonso again. He will be even angrier. Oh, I see. Yeah, we're loading, baby. Look at that go. Woo woo! So, tape deck. What's funny is the actual cassette deck is probably the most reliable drive I have for the Commodore 64, outside of like an SD card drive emulator of some kind. Because the floppy drive right now, it probably needs some calibration to do some actual disk writing. It's a bit problematic at the moment. Let's see here, but so joystick forward is jump, joystick back is drop object, joystick left is wave cloak, joystick right is pull cloak. And then there's keyboard controls for this as well. Okie dokie, Smokey. Oh, so keyboard is if I don't want to use a joystick, but we're using joystick here. So I can hold the fire button to do all of the like jumping and cloak waving and stuff. And if I don't hold down the fire button, then I actually move around. So that's cool. But yeah, so these games are notorious. They take a notoriously long time to load because, again, you're reading off of cassette tape to actually load it into memory. But these are probably games you would never really look at otherwise unless you really dig for it on YouTube or something. Got my poor man mocha I made. Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. So, okay. So I can jump, drop an object, wave cloak, pull cloak. I'm hoping this will be fun. It sounds like an interesting concept. I'm also assuming all these will work on my NTSC Commodore 64 because there is a slightly different processor timing between PAL and NTSC. Excuse me. So it could be where these games don't load because they're for PAL machines. I don't know. We'll find out. Again, this whole stream might just end up being a waste of time. You never really know. But as of right now, I've been doing a lot of fixing of the Commodore 64, some of the components related to it, like the drives and such, as well as straightening up some areas in my workbench lab in the garage. So I haven't had a lot of time to get things set back up to do maddening and star control just yet. Those will be coming up next couple weeks here. But I've been trying to focus on getting some projects out of the way too, so I can have working stuff and not just a bunch of broken stuff sitting around. And actually have a dedicated soldering space again, because that was something I hadn't had for quite some time. It's been a bit of a mess on the bench. So I got my oscilloscope set up. I got some basic monitoring equipment set up, like an actual visual monitor, all of my components in like little drawers. Got my multimeters set up with various different lead adapters and such, organized and accessible, things like that. Just to make it easier for me to start working on these boards and such. Like right now I'm trying to troubleshoot an Odyssey 2 board that has some really weird characters on the screen when it's turned on. So that's set up with my oscilloscope right now, because I'm just trying to scope out the chips to see if I can figure something out with it in terms of what could be right or wrong. And on top of that, like, well, specifically with the Odyssey 2, I also rigged up like an LED, so I knew when it was turned on, another switch, like power switch, things like that, so I didn't have to have as much of the stuff that's in the case actually around the board. So I'm going to separate the board from everything and work with it that way, make it a little easier for myself to manage it. But yep. And the Commodore 64, it was buried in dirt and such because of an accident in the garage. So I had to take that whole thing apart, clean it. While I was under there, I cleaned all the keys, all the keyboard keys separately, and the board and all that. All the controllers and cords, a bunch of stuff just got cleaned up individually. And then I went into the floppy drive and I was servicing that, making sure that belts were okay and that the reed head rods were lubricated, things like that. Sweet. Woo! Olay! So this is just like a little demo of what's happening. Let's go with Doc. That didn't work. I was getting walked on now. That's rude. Can I get up? No, they ain't. We have to bring out the medics. The bull's blotting me. Okay. Fine. Let's try again. I don't think I waved it quick enough time. Well, so how movement works, you don't just hold a direction for it to move. It's, how would you describe it? The more, it's a digital input. Oh, I almost had it. Well, I'm done there. Dang. It's like a digital input to where the more I depress on a particular direction, the faster the character will move. but if I don't press anything on the D-pad, it'll keep on keeping that velocity. So it's almost like I'm setting a velocity for direction. This is tough though. Olay! We're getting it. Oh, dang it. Oh no! Do I get points for riding the bowl? Is that what's... Ah, you crushed me. Ah, dang it. So it's kind of interesting. We have to, you know, do the actual Matador thing. I did better that time than I had before. That kind of timing. Okay, well, let's load something else up here. Let's try a different game. We might return back to Matador. That was surprisingly fun. I did not think I would enjoy it as much as I did there. And again, it just worked. This is a game from, what? I think it was 85? Yeah, 1985. So, you know, magnetic tape still working. Not too bad, folks. Not too bad. Let's see what else we got lined up, though. Let's try the election game. I have no idea what this is going to be like. Let's see what the instructions say here. For the election game, a computerized board game of 1 to 4 players. Acknowledgement to Mr. Chips Westminster. What? That's some sort of stamp thing across the back there. Acknowledgement to Mr. Chips Westminster. It says a 1 to 4 player board game. The aim of the game is to lead the party of your choice and win the general election. You tour the 60 constituencies, the seats, buying votes when you can, just like the real thing. Great. Why play on your own? Have fun with your family and friends playing. The election game. We have a little paper pamphlet thing here. I'm assuming it's completely digital. There's no, like, physical parts to this. But let's load it up, I guess. Which I'm assuming it's going to be shift and run stop. And this will take a bit to load up, of course, because it being a cassette game. And I'm assuming, yeah, like this is going to be based around the UK. Which, again, we might run into a PAL versus NTSC issue with this game. We'll find out. But each player will lead 1 of 4 parties. You have the Conservative Party, you have the Labour Party, the Liberal Party, or a coalition of independent parties. The Grab Bag Party, of course. You'll move around 60 constituencies where you can spend money on canvassing. At the end of the game, voting will take place and you'll be able to see how well you played. The Central Party office will give you £8,000 to start you on the campaign trail. More help will come from the Central Party office during the game. And we got a few rules here. What's up, Derek? Hope you're enjoying the old school game stuff here, man. We're gonna do, it's all the OG equipment, so it takes time. Though I am using a aftermarket Etsy special gamepad that works with the Commodore and the Commodore 64 and my Commodore Amiga. So I don't have to use the Atari joystick stuff. I can just have a pad that's fairly reasonable to use. And actually, it's pretty comfortable for what it is. It feels like a knockoff NES controller. Works well. So the rules are each of the 4 parties will be offered at the start of the game. If no one wants to leave the party, then return should be pressed. Otherwise, your name, maximum 18 letters, should be typed and then return pressed. I guess that's how they determine how many players are going to be playing, too. You'll be asked how many rounds canvassing you want to do. Each player will take or miss 1 turn during each round. 120 rounds will take about an hour of play. When all rounds have been played, you'll be asked if you want to extend the canvassing. So if you have chosen to a few rounds, you'll be able to add extra then. You will get a better game if you know at the start how many rounds you will play. Sure. During play, a player who does not miss a turn will be moved at random between 1 and 8 segments around a ring. Probably similar to like a die roll at that point for movement. The ring consists of 60 constituencies plus 15 random outcome boxes. Outcome boxes. Each time you complete a full constituency circuit, you will receive between 4,570 pounds and 5,250 pounds from the central party office. It's like pass and go. You get like an allowance of some kind every time you make a round on the board. I'm assuming it's going to be like some sort of just circuit of a board, like of a physical board or some kind you're traveling around. Each time you complete a half circuit, past constituency 31, Cardigan, Central Party Office donates between 3,325 and 3,675 pounds in your campaign. So even halfway, you get some money too. That's cool. Constituencies mean you land on one. The border color represents your party: blue, conservative; red, labor; orange, liberal; green, independent. The background color, large rectangle, shows the party that is leading in that constituency. Okay, so that sounds like buying properties, except it's people. We're gonna buy people. That's fine. That's good. Sure. An opinion poll will be shown at each constituency telling you how many votes each party can expect to get. You must decide whether it's worthwhile putting in the effort to improve your chances. For making a personal appearance in the constituency arriving, you will have received between 475 and 525 votes committed to your party. Your chance that that particular constituency can be increased depending on how much you are willing to spend on canvassing to help the candidate. You will be asked how much you want to spend on canvassing. Type 0 if you don't want to spend any money. For every 100 you spend, you can expect to convince between 95 and 105 voters to support you. Okay. Border outcome. That border color is that of the player whose turn it is, which I guess we'll kind of get some context on that, because there's no pictures in this manual. It's just a simple text blob thing. When you land on these segments, you may gain or lose between a certain amount of money for funds, gain or lose certain votes. This must be the random outcome space. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you have the constituencies, which is where you can visit, get votes, spend money, get more votes, things like that. Then the random outcome one has where you can gain or lose money, gain or lose votes, be able to visit one of the 3 marginal constituencies of yours, or be able to visit any constituency. When you're able to visit a constituency, you will be shown who leads in the seat and by how much. If you're able to visit any constituency, you will be able to see the state of affairs in all constituencies before you decide. After you have looked at the screens, you will be asked where you want to go. You do not have the opportunity of seeing the screens again, so it's wise to remember and jot down the number that you're considering going to. You're going to show it to you once, and that's it. General election result opinion poll every 10 rounds, and after the last round, you'll be given an opinion poll indicating how many constituencies you expect to win. That's giving you kind of an idea of where we're at with the game. It will have many very marginal constituencies the opinion poll can upset. If you have very many marginal constituencies, the opinion poll can be upset. So, I guess that means that maybe it's not 100% correct. Is that what they mean by that? Not sure. Voting. When all the canvassing has finished, voting will start. During the voting, each party will gain or lose up to 500 votes to represent the floating voter. In practice, this means that unexpected difference of 1,000 votes could occur. As stated earlier, this could put the opinion poll forecasts out, especially if you have a lot of very marginal constituencies. We never saw this in our election. Nope. Additional screen information. Each turn, you'll be shown how much money you have and where you are on the circuit. Random boxes are not numbered. If you're on one, it will be indicated by the fact that you have just passed 36. In other words, the random box between constituency 36 and 37. So you'll also be shown how many safe seats you hold. A safe seat indicates a lead of at least 1,000 votes over the nearest party. Thus, the floating vote will not affect it in that fashion. Marginal seats that you hold are also indicated. In these seats, you will have a forecasted lead of less than 1,000 votes. Which makes sense again, because that's the floating vote threshold there of plus or minus 500. Money left after canvassing has finished. After all canvassing rounds have finished and any money is useless to you, it is desirable for you to spend all of it, and nearly all of your money is as canvassing ends. And they give us some hints to hopefully win and not lose. If you try to maintain a lead of about 1,000 votes, other players have quite a good chance of regaining the lead. You can, however, spread your attack widely throughout the constituencies. If you try to establish a stronger lead of 2,000 votes, for example, opponents will find it harder to regain the seat, but you will be able to attack fewer seats. You spent more on one seat, right? At most seats, you will need less than 4,000 votes to take the lead. As in real life, there are some seats in which your party's traditional strongholds, and therefore almost unassailable. To stop floating voters affecting the outcome of your constituency that you assumed you could win, you should try to be at least 1,000 votes ahead of the constituency by the end of the canvassing. Let's see. There is a faculty for a recount. No, facility. There is a facility for a recount should there be an absolute dead heat in a particular constituency. What? When you're offered the opportunity of going to constituencies, you should try and choose one that entails you passing central party office and the halfway stage, as you will be given your funds as you pass them, which makes sense. Yeah, if you get the choice of choosing a constituency to go, you may want to choose one where you'll actually get some money along the way, spend it to gain more. That makes sense. So, all that reading being said, at the end of the day, what this game is going to be is you are going around a particular board, very Monopoly style, with a set amount of funds to invest on the particular square. Much like Fortune Street, right? Or the hotel map on Mario Party 8, where you invest money to get a lead of votes. You're buying votes to win the seat of that constituency. There's... Alright, cool. There's, of course, a threshold of floating vote that happens there. Plus or minus 500. No, we're actually good on the rules, I think. Conservatives, I'm not going to be conservative. The Labor Party, I'm going to go with the Independents, actually. How many rounds? I think they said, 120 rounds would last an hour, and I don't think we should be doing an hour of this, because that would be crazy. Let's try 25. But anyway, so you're going around, you're spending money trying to get these seats and hopefully defend the seats by the end of the game when the votes are counted up. And you can have recounts, I guess, which sounds pretty fascinating to me. Go 25. See, money at 1. Looks like, because this is red, I'm assuming this is the Conservative Party, I think. Because I think Labor is orange. Let me double check the colors here. Where are your colors at? Blue is Conservative, red is Labor. So this is Labor's place right now. Let's spend, I guess, 600. All right. Oh, so there's no like graphical view of the map here. I'm just going based on numbers right now. Okay. I guess let's go another 600. Labor is keeping quite the lead here. I got 7,000 money left. Let's do 2,000 this one. How much money I want to spend here? Let's do 600. I mean, all right, I passed by the middle part, got 3,600. Very good. Let's see, and this is the Liberals, got it right now. I'm going to do about 4,000. I don't think we'll be able to win that race there. 0 on that. This is mine. They're catching up. So I'm going to do another 1,000 here. Opinion poll forecast. They're thinking, Doc, he might be the winner here so far. I mean, play goes by really quick because there's no real, what you would say, well, number one, I'm playing by myself, but number two, there's no real board or animation or anything happening to spend more time on this. Oh, we can take these guys here. Let's do 2,000. No, 0 on that because they have a huge lead on that. I'm gonna let them fight that one out. Oh, that's close. I'm gonna do a 600 on that. All right, I got some money. I got Crawley right now. I wonder if this is based on like a physical board game. Let's see here. Oh, that's pretty dead heat too. So let's do 1,500. Zero on that. To do 0 on that. I don't think I can beat the Labour Party there right now either. Do 0 on that. So we're saving our money. We're picking our battles here, picking our spots for this win. We want it. We want this win. Ooh. Just past 19. Okay, so Crawley's looking good. Okay. I might want to go to 10 might be good. I think I might do 10 actually, because I think that'll get me some money. So I think that'll loop around. Cash, yep, that's what I wanted to do. We're going to do 4,000. 0 on that. So I think I can win a lot of these. 4,000. Dang it. Lost votes. That's no good. 3,000. That's the opinion poll. That's what they're thinking. Let's see if I win this. No. The voting has started. Let's go, voting. Can we win this? Poll is closed. All right. The count has started. Oh my god. I think I gamed the system enough. Boom! Oh, 22 seats, gained 7 seats, lost none. Go Indies. Bam! With a majority of 8 seats forming a minority government. Bam. Let's press return to see the results as a graph. Love the graph. Let's see the reason for the result. You won because lots of good publicity. Let's see the result of each constituency. Sure. Would love to. That was pretty close. 897. Not bad. This is a cool game. I think I would like to try to play this with some folks. It's like, you don't get a visualization, which I think that would help quite a bit to have a visualization of what the board would look like. But it does give you enough information text-wise, again, idea of where you're at and sort of how you want to distribute your money. Like this, like it's really straightforward in terms of that turn economy race game sort of thing, but it's pretty cool. And we won that by 1,000 votes. That's close, but wow, 149. That was, yeah. There's no way I was going to win. That's one of those stronghold constituencies. 10,000, yeah, no way. 9,000, no way. 9,000 votes, yeah. That's still kind of winnable. That could have been winnable. Yep. Yep. A lot of decently sized margins here. Except for that 800 vote one. Like, that was pretty dang close. 9,000. Yeah, that must have been a stronghold of mine. Oh, again, like under 1,000 there for Mitchcom. 2,000. Oh, that was a close one. Dang. 10,000. Oh, press Q. No, we're not going to play again here. Bam, that's the election game. That's pretty cool. Certainly something that would benefit having more people to play with. For sure. And I guess Sam is currently messing around with some terminal stuff here. I don't know if you're on yet, Sam. But actually, I'll be right back. Gotta take a quick break, but then we'll get back to trying out Turbo 64 and then some other Commodore 64 stuff. So stay tuned.
burn the sun. So 20 million churches, arms waving in the air. And a seething prostitute said she once had a kill. And all the little children that danced in the grass. Inside the nation, that would be the last. There ain't gonna be no kings, you won't wanna sit and sail. When the hills run like rats from the shell. Woke up this morning and I went for the sight of your eyes and a kiss. Don't know how you feel, but with the moon falling down, I'd like to spend the rest of my life in your road. Ain't your pumpkin pie? It's Halloween outside, you got some in your eye. Better cut across the room, smile at me, ignore all my woes, and a bathroom stone. No other place at the mall. Talk about romance movie, and the ones that I might I like about all the world.
Hey, I'm streaming, and I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that, Sam. I thought you may have been... I assumed you were going to see like a notification or something. But that wasn't the case. We'll go ahead and try out Turbo 64 here, and then we might return back to the election game. Because honestly, the election game is pretty cool. And lucky you, then, you don't have to put up with me reading through the rules out loud to figure out how the game works. Unfortunately for Derek and Andy, they had to listen to that. Poor souls. These are patient, quiet, long games. We'll go and just give the cassette a rewind here. But yeah, Sam, so far we checked out Raging Beast, which is like a Matador game where you are trying to act like a Matador to score points by doing olays to a bull. And then the election game is a electronic board game that goes up to 4 players where you're doing like a race around the board to try to buy constituencies for various seats of parliament, I'm assuming. And each player gets to pick one of 4 parties to try to buy the seats. And that's how that works. And it's pretty cool. And also so far, 2 of the 3 cassettes are working. We're going to try number 4 here. Or number 3 here. And then, what is this? Okay, so most of these cassettes, they come with like an insert that has instructions on the inside. This particular one also has some sort of graph paper. You cannot run Turbo 64 without this sheet. Do not lose it. Your Turbo 64 cassette is protected by piracy with a special encryption mechanism. In order to run the program, it is necessary to give the computer certain information that only you can know. Follow the instructions carefully. Make sure your Turbo 64 cassette is rewound. Press Shift Run Stop. When the program has loaded, the computer will... it's kind of worn down, but it looks like it's going to indicate the colors in certain squares on the reverse side of the sheet. The squares are located using a simple grid reference system. And there's like a whole grid figure here. Oh yeah. And this is like an 54 by 83 grid of dots. To find a particular square, say 5, 7, find the column 5 and row 7, the square indicating where the column 5 and row 7 meet. When a computer requests you find a color in a particular square, the screen will cycle through the colors red, green, blue, and then back to red again. When the color on the screen matches the color in the square, hit the fire button. When 4 colors have been entered correctly, the protection check is complete and you are in the game. So this will be... the disk drive, or you're talking about the cassette drive. The cassette drive, I'm not ready to mod that for like an audio cable yet. I would have to get a couple pieces of equipment to do that. And I've had a bigger focus on trying to restore functionality to some of the other things first, like the disk drive, the floppy disk drive and all that. Just because it really needs it. And then for the joystick, you have steer left, steer right for left and right. Gas goes up, brake is down. Then you hold the fire button to select gear, so there is manual shifting in this. Okay. Select a car, racetrack, etc. Move the joystick left and right and hit fire. Choose automatic gears or regular shift gears for greater acceleration. I might go with automatic first, just so I can get used to the game. As soon as you see go, push forward on the joystick or use U to accelerate. Yay, loading. Hit restore to abort the game. Scoring. The score is based on your skill in driving around the selected track. Remember, the high average speed is not everything. To score good points, you must stay on the road at the right speed at the appropriate gear. You will lose points for over-revving your engine as well as crashing your car. Ugh. Alright, so we will get the pleasure of trying this DRM out. Really get the full Commodore experience, I suppose. Dazzling 3D color graphics, thrilling sound effects, 100% machine code, fast load. So it supports fast load. Or maybe it has a fast load built in when it loads up. I don't know. Oh yeah, it does have its own fast load here. This program uses Pavloda, Pavloda. Loads in less than 4 minutes, it says. I'm assuming that's what's happening on screen right now. It's decompressing, whatever. Because I think fast loading is pretty much some sort of form of compression, right? And then once it's in memory, it's decompressing and all that. But this DRM sheet has been well loved. That is no doubt. And there's like pen marks of where the guy is trying to figure out where the color is that he's trying to find. Which I can see that being a bit of a pain, yeah. This would be a good candidate for a cracked game, so you don't have to deal with the DRM anymore. But here we are. That'd be one thing I have to make sure of if I got a cracked cassette game, is to make sure that it is, or if I got a cassette game like as an audio file to load up, to make sure it's correct. Load times have not been too terrible. I would say that the election game took a little bit longer. I don't know, for those who are here, maybe 5 minutes? I was kind of busy reading the instructions on the game, so I didn't pay that close of attention. It hasn't been honestly anything unbearable, though I've been rambling along too, so that kind of passes the time a bit. But no, not too bad. I mean, I would say fairly acceptable for what it is. It hasn't been like a 10 or 15 minute load or anything like that. So I would assume that the games themselves are probably not super large on the cassette. I would assume. But we will see. I don't know, Andy or Derek, if you guys are still on. I mean, it probably felt like it took a bit to load. What do you guys think about the load times on those cassettes? I guess a bigger question would be that, because I know you guys pop on every now and then, but would this kind of vintage of game be something that you would ever honestly like jump into or have curiosity with doing? Either the proposed board game of the election game or the Matador one? Oh. Maybe I missed the DRM there. But no, they didn't give me any kind of... Let's try the other side. And one thing, too, again, with many of these games is that there is a chance that not only could the game not work because of it just being an old tape and such, but it could be where it's a PAL-only game, so there might be some issues with running it on, an NTSC Commodore 64, which that's what this is, so... Let's see if this side loads any faster or any better or anything. And if not, then I might go back to the election game so I can show you that, because that was one I was honestly impressed with. I hope this side works. There is a chess game that I would like to get working that came in the box. It's missing the little foam that goes behind the tape. I also kind of wonder, like, because I think you had to deal with some cassettes before, Sam. Is there any decent way of cleaning an actual cassette tape? Like, if there's anything that may have gotten on the magnetic tape? Assuming that the magnetic tape it just wasn't damaged in terms of data, but maybe there's dirt or other things that make it difficult to read. Lots of flashing, colorful bars as we load. Again, I believe this to be the fast loader at work. Yeah. I have at least one tape that lost its foam. I think it was kind of loose in the first place, so I don't know how well it was working to, kind of give that tension to the magnetic tape. That may not be what fixes it. I don't know for sure. I could always try it again, just to see what happens, but I would have my doubts. Either way, if there's a way of like doing any kind of cleaning to give the tapes the best possible chance of reading, I would have an interest in that. I see. Yeah, if I recall correctly, part of what you were doing before was removing a smell from some tapes you had, but those like music tapes too. So if there was any kind of information loss, it may not be as noticeable as like trying to load in code or something. I see. And I can always try the chest tape again here to see if it does any different than uh, what I've tried before. It'd be cool if it worked, just because it's one that came with a whole stack of things and there's a manual for it. I'm no good at chess, so there's that, but I'm not sure if I want to do the floppy disk drive head alignment on stream just because of sort of the room I would need to do it. And I don't think it'd be worth doing in that way. Clean the cases, buried J cards and baking soda, and just let the tapes expose fresh air. I gotcha. Okay. I see. That's fair. I also have this Easy Flash 3, which allows you to load in custom kernels. Oh, shit. Okay. 4241. I think that's blue. All right, 5411. All right. It's green. Okay. 2345. Well, this thing has a line going through it, so that works for me. It's blue. 4052. That's right on the crease. 52. Yeah, it's blue again. Bam! Now we can play the game, right? Right? I hope. Let's see what it says here. It says I'm now in the game. Is it just loading still? Let's find out. Maybe that is the game just following that chart. That's the trick. Game, I hope you're just loading. because, yeah. It would be very disappointing if this was like, oh, you did the DRM. Sorry. Bop, bop, bada, bop, bada, bop, bop. Dang. Y'all aren't going to do anything for me? I go through all that trouble. Do the DRM. Followed your graph of dots. Here we are. Is that right? We're going to try it one more time here. One more time. Worst case, I get to play the colored dot game again. Not so much Turbo 64, the thrilling second generation racing car simulation from Limbic Systems UK Limited. If this doesn't work, then we'll go back to the election game. Show you that, Sam. Give you a taste of something really cool. I mean, it shows, though, again, the cassette deck works pretty good. All things considered. It ain't too bad. We just gotta, do another load. Again and 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 again. What's this here? While we wait, and let's see what other cassette stuff's out there. There's a lot of VIC-20 stuff, which makes sense. Yeah, personal finance and all that good stuff. A lot of VIC-20 stuff. A lot of VIC-20 stuff. Yeah, I mean, if you're into the VIC-20, you can get all kinds of software on tape. Goodness gracious. They ain't lying. And we just load. Those are sad drives. Goodness. So I've been watching more, what's it, Technomone? Or Techmone. Looking at the Milton Bradley 8-track trivia game platform. That was pretty slick. Kind of how they manipulate different tracks and channels you can do with 8 tracks to have that kind of interactivity and still be able to dump data onto the actual little console thing. That was pretty slick. Well, I guess what I could do too, if I didn't want to physically mod the cassette deck, I could probably get one of those cassette to MP3 adapter things and maybe run that too. Is there any word on if that would be a not smart move to stream audio to a data deck? Sorry, excuse me, a data set deck? So at least I would think if that would work, I wouldn't have to chop anything up and I could be lazy. And that sounds wonderful. And I might even have one of those cassettes still around. One of the 35mm jack to cassette. Otherwise, it'd probably be spending $5, which would probably be the amount I would spend anyway on the components for like the audio jack and all that, and having to drill holes and junk. Okay, let's do this again from the top. Heck yeah, let's do it. 2836. Like blue. Bam. Now we're going to 2729. Blue again. Okay, 2844. Is that blue again? Okay, 2553. 553. Green. Sweet. We in, suckers. Let's do Looney's Loop. How did I choose more than one lap? I guess we'll do one. Whoa, ah! There's no checkbox to say, hey, remember this browser. Please use two-step verification before running Turbo 64. Vroom, 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 vroom. Ah! I do like the effect of crashing and just all going staticky and such. That's pretty slick. I mean, so far, all 3 tapes work. Not bad. These were, again, like $5 a piece. Same seller on Etsy, actually, out of all places. It's like, sweet. Again, just like a little cleanup and demagnetizing the head and doing a proper alignment. Data set works great. Now, I'm not any good at this, so there's that. That's fine. Looks really good. Commodore 64 is so fun. Like, there's a lot of neat, crazy little games. There is a visual appeal to it. Slightly dizzy. I mean, I guess that's a good desired effect, because, I mean, you are crashing and stuff, right? Game over. That's the high score, folks. The intro's pretty sick, too. What's demo look like? How did you choose more... or that's players. How did you choose more laps? Let's take a look at this demo here. Let's see how this guy runs this. My poor man's mocha is working well. Keep me caffeinated. But yeah, to your point... That's not how you... I guess that is how you demo. Okay. Okie dokie, Smokey. One player. How do I... Let's see if I can change the... Oh, parallax scrolling and road effects. Yeah. Let me see if I have a good way of choosing number of laps here. H or K? Yeah, those didn't do it for me. I would love to know how to... Interesting. So that's how we do it. We do 3 laps. Relaxing drive. So we're trying to go for a relaxing drive. It's like Desert Bus. See, relaxing drive. We got this. I wonder if I just turned a little bit earlier. Yeah, that seemed to do the trick. Too much. Vroom. Whoop. Bam, drive in. But yeah, I guess to my question earlier, Sam, did you see that Tech episode about the 8-track little trivia electronic game thing? I think it's called the Omni. I don't think it was a new episode. It was just one that popped up on my feed recently. And I was like, oh, I don't know anything about this. It's freaking silly. As a proper Tech Moan thing. Why you gotta be red like that, turns? How many red turns are there? Yeah, I like those green turns. Those green turns are nice. Vroom, 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 vroom. Actually, it's been pretty fun with the manual steering too. But you do like diagonal movement with your joystick, plus the fire button to do your gear shifting, which I could see being a bit challenging sometimes. Oh, please. Vroom, vroom, vroom. I guess part of it too is probably how you're watching this. You have a bigger screen, which is kind of funny to think about. You have a bigger screen you're looking at with the Commodore 64 stuff compared to what I'm looking at, because I'm a little bit distanced away from my big screen TV. So like I'm not probably be as affected by any kind of visual effects that the Commodore 64 is doing in terms of like dizziness or perspective or anything. This poor car is just being crashed and wrecked. Good golly. I'm just drunken driving. I mean, he doesn't control bad. If anything, it seems to be pretty consistent with a lot of these Commodore 64 games where it's a matter of sort of queuing up a particular value for speed by pressing the button or holding the button and then letting go and allowing that to be a consistent sort of amount, like a velocity or something, as opposed to holding it down to go forward and letting go to slow down. Well, hang on one second. Truth be told, we didn't have any real big plans for the 4th, so not really. We didn't really see an impact in that regard. We were going to kind of just stick around home anyway. We'll go ahead and load up an election game here so you can see that, Sam, because I think it's worth you seeing for sure. And I think you say restore to quit. Let me see here. I thought it said here. Yeah, hit restore. Alright, we'll just do this then. Feathering the throttle. Yeah. But yeah, so like, I got to get a brisket marinating tonight. Gonna grill some brats. Probably do some garden work with Jess tomorrow, honestly. Because today I was doing some more cleanup around the house. Laundry. I had some board game stuff I had lying around upstairs I wanted to get cleaned up. If anything, I might try to... Here's the example you said, got it. Maybe go to the store to get a shelf for some of the board games to give them a home instead of just laying around right now. Excuse me. So I think that would be good to do. But it's going to be pretty easy going here. terms of just relaxing and enjoying a holiday. I mean, was it last year? Just got hit in the forehead with a rogue bottle rocket thing, so she certainly is a bit put off by some of the fireworks shenanigans that can happen during the 4th. So a more low-key situation is to something she'd probably prefer. Yeah, Easy Flash 3. We gotta do something with this later on. I don't know what yet. Something. Maybe put some... I think it does have Jiffy DOS on it already. But find some other kernels to put on that I can load up on the Commodore 64 and mess around with. Or... I guess you can do some other cartridge images too at that point. Anyway. Yep. Right on. So are you doing like things with other folks, or are you kind of just between those of you in the household pretty much for the 4th? Or should we expect a stream? I see. Okay. Well, that'd be good. It'd be good to have folks there. You should then get a Commodore 64 emulator going and get the election game going. So you can have 4 players try to vie for buying out constituencies with money you get from the elections office, and thus win a majority of the government. That's the key. That's how you bring people together in America. Though in this case it's more of a parliament sort of thing. So, oh sweet, that'd be fun. Then y'all can like talk about cool things and do cool things. Whatever y'all talk about and do, it's cool. Have him bring his Apple II. Oh, right on, yeah. I still have to watch that video too about the watermelon grilling thing. That'd be cool. I'm probably going to do more of a traditional charcoal grill for the brats. The brisket is a recipe from Jess's grandpa that we're going to try out, which is pretty much a marinade brisket overnight, and then you slow cook it for 6 hours in the oven. I think it'll turn out pretty good, though the marinade itself looks like it's very much like a soy sauce, ketchup, barbecue saucy sort of thing going on. There's some dry seasonings thrown in there too, but I'm assuming it's going to be like a very vinegary, tomato-based sort of thing for the brisket. I think it'll turn out okay. I'll be interested to see what how it all kind of comes together, if it does, or like how it would compare to how we did our dry rub stuff we got from Mythical Kitchen before, because that came out really dang good when we did with the pork rump roast, pork roast stuff, and with the brisket too. Me personally, I would like to be able to like slice the brisket, but I think slow cooking it this way, it's gonna have to sort of fall apart. So probably more of a shredded brisket sort of deal. I don't know. We'll see. It recommends marinating it overnight in the pan you're gonna roast it in, which I could do. Part of me is thinking about just getting because I have a bunch of electric roaster bags. I grab one of those and just marinate the meat in that. That way I don't have to turn the meat halfway through the marinade or anything like that, because it should submerge pretty well. And then take it out and roast it after that. I don't know if it make that much of a difference. If anything, it might make the marinade a little more consistent in terms of coverage, just because I can shrink the apparatus around the meat pretty easily with a bag. And I'd probably be having the marinade in with the meat too as it slow cooks. That way you just have more juices and moisture there. This is I'm assuming it's a flat. It was actually a piece of brisket given to me by my neighbor a while back, like last year. I had in the freezer, just hanging around. I mean, it's a pretty decent looking slab, but it is like a flat slab. It'd be something that it would be too big right now to fit in something like my Dutch oven. I'd have to, if anything, like kind of cut it into pieces if I wanted to use some of my ironware that way. Hence why I'm also even thinking about using the roaster bags. Then I can worry about figuring out something to cook the meat in later and focus on just marinating it tonight right now. But the recipe itself was some sort of handwritten note that Jess's grandpa did a while back, and the family just hung on to it. So it'll be interesting to see how it turns out. And I figured since I got the brisket in the freezer, I might as well use it. Give it some love. So the election game does not have a fast loader, if you can't tell. That's okay. That's okay. We're making it happen. I will say the whole collection of accessories overall that came with the C64 was quite substantial and very helpful. Like, you know, it was just, I'm using a gamepad I already had from my Amiga. I did buy the SD card adapter and the video cord separate, though I used some RF stuff for a while. But having the data set and the disk drive with it is huge. The data set just works. Right on. That'd be good. Those are good plans. I'm assuming that Kapua's brother and his family are bringing some additions to the grill out. Hey, you don't own a grill. That is... Yeah. Man. Just buy more watermelon. Then you can just use watermelon the whole time. Yeah, so everything stayed in pretty good condition. The Commodore 64 does have some thermal paste on some of the chips to go with the IR shield, to use that as like a heat sink. I probably should get some other heat sinks and like thermal tape or something in the future to really sure up those chips in there, because, you know, the PLA, the SID chip, and I think the VIC-2 chip too probably get pretty warm and get damaged. Like, it'd be good to have that stuff sorted. Yeah, 3 working cassette games there, man. Not bad. Not too bad. I do have to get some... here we go. The election game. Huzzah. We don't need to see the rules. I'll explain them as I go along here, Sam. So what happens is, in this game, you choose, it goes up to 4 players. There are 4 parties to choose from: the Conservatives, the Liberals, the Labor, and the Independents. Each player chooses a party. Oh, right on. Yeah, I might just do that then for the RAM heat sinks and such. You're going around a board, like a board game, though you never really see the board itself in the application here. You more of get number references, like you're on space 15, 20, whatever. And each turn, you move between 1 and 8 spaces randomly, as if it's a die roll. And each space represents either a constituency, which would be like a city, I'm assuming, or a province of some kind in the UK, or you can be landing on one of the 4 random event spaces. On a constituency space, it has a baseline number of voters projected to go towards a particular party, as well as a number of seats available in government for that. And so what you do is you spend money you have to essentially influence folks to vote for you instead. So this will be reflected as in, oh, you actually end up campaigning there, or you're setting rallies, whatever it might be, but that's what the money represents, essentially buying votes. And you go round and round the board trying to buy votes to overtake other parties at each space. Now, some parties have... The board layout is not provided. It is a abstract board, I guess. I don't know. But it acts much like a Monopoly board in the sense of just going around a circuit of some kind. And so you end up having some spaces that are kind of stronghold spaces for certain parties at the beginning of the game. So it'd be very hard to overtake like a 10,000 vote difference. Usually a manageable margin would be like 3,000 to 4,000 votes to try to overtake. And you kind of go around the board trying to buy up votes. So, kind of like, I feel like Fortune Street or Mario Party 8, the hotel game, that's a lot of what I got a feel from in terms of that sort of investment. When you go past the halfway mark of the board, you get like 3,500 pounds as money to go back to your account. When you make a complete round around the board, you get like 5,000 or 6,000 pounds. It's a range of numbers you can get for funding from the voting office. And that's how you get money injection going around. Then you have the random event spaces that can either give money or take away money. They can give votes or take away votes. They can allow you to go to a particular set of constituencies, I think, or you can choose any constituency you want. And this is actually something I took advantage of last game when I played here, is that if you get the fourth option kind of space, which is you have to choose a constituency space to go to, you don't just automatically jump there, but you travel the board to get there. So that means that depending on where you're at, you might be able to pass the halfway mark and the beginning of the board again, so get a whole bunch of money before landing in that spot, and then you just dump that money into the spot if it's something that was previously way out of your control or something you want to shore up. So you go through the game, influencing, getting leads into constituencies and such. Then you get to the voting. So canvassing, they call this canvassing when you're trying to get votes. You're canvassing, whatever. I can't say the word tonight. These constituencies do this. Then the voting happens. It's not, you get projections of what it looks like who will win overall, but it's not a guarantee because there's a bit of a randomized variable put in this, what they represent as a floating voter sort of thing. So it could go plus or minus 500 votes in any given constituency, meaning that you can have a 1,000 vote swing one way or another as a maximum swing. So that can occur. And furthermore, if it's a very, very close race in a given constituency, then there's recounts that happen too. So it's kind of cool. So you have conservative. I'm not going to do conservative this time. I'm going to go with the Labor Party, I think. Canvassing, let's go with, I did 25 rounds before, so let's do 40 rounds this time. And so this is what every turn looks like for someone. You get the round number up top. You got who's there. What you'll see this in a different space here, but the person's turn it is, their party color will be the border of the screen, and the center of the screen will be the color of who's winning that space. You'll see how much money I have. You'll see at 1 there. I'm at space 1 right now. You see the number of seats that are here. And in terms of what's safe and marginal, there's like if you have a certain threshold lead, then it's considered a safe seat for you. If you have below that threshold of a lead, that's known as a marginal lead. And so every turn, you just choose how much money do you want to put into this place to influence it. Now, since I have some lead, but it's not the strongest lead, I'm going to go ahead and put 1,000 down. Well managed canvassing. Gained 517 votes. Tooting Mitchum needs Durham. So I move over to space 13. And again, this is one I have control over, thus it all looks red right now. I think it's Conservative is blue, Labor's red, Liberals orange, Independents green. So I got about 2,000 lead here, so I'm going to do another 1,000. Well managed publicity. Nice. Gain money. And here, again, I got a pretty good lead, so I'm actually going to do about 400. Now we get to a spot that I am not winning. That's where you see my turn is in the outside border, and then the center square is who's winning this one right now. That would be the Liberal Party, which they are at 19,000 in this space. I'm actually going to skip this one because it looks like it's pretty contested. Here, again, Liberal Party's winning it, but not by that much. So I'm going to go ahead and dump 3,000 here. This one would be the Conservative Party's winning. I'm going to do about 4,000. Oh, yeah, you'll see up top says you've been given 3,638 by the party central office. So that's what I've passed the halfway mark, which I think is spot 35. It might be written basic. It might be. I can always end this later and then just do a list to see how the program lists. So let's do 4,000 here. Skip you for now. I lost money. Dang it. So I got a slight lead. We'll keep this going, though. That's the opinion poll. I'll do 2,000. I'm getting close to the beginning of the board again. And so like you can see right here, my influence here is like 5,000 votes, and the Liberal Party's got 30,000. So this is like a stronghold for them. There's no point in putting money into that spot. Same thing for this because I'm so far off from 30,000. Cool. So I just got a random event space where I can move to any one of those constituencies there. Which, if any of them, I probably want to go to Edinburgh because it's going to have me go around the board quite a bit. I should be able to pass a couple different spots to get a lot of money and hit up Edinburgh. So I'm going to do 45 here. And you'll see then I got a total of 8,000 money from that. We're going to do 5,000 here. Dump some money into this. I hit a random spot again here. Very good. I'm just past space 47. I'm going to go to Edinburgh again, just get a whole bunch of money again. And I have a stable lead there right now, so I'm going to press 0 on that. Dang, I just got this again? I'm going to have so much cash. Let's go to Plymouth this time, 29. And we're dump like 3,000 there. Oh, we can't let you win this one, independent, so we're going to dump 6,000. I'm not going to try for that one. I think we're safe there right now. Oh, we can overtake this one. Let's do it. Let's do 8,000. Yeah, I just got a whole bunch of money from those laps. Crazy. We're catching up. I'm going to do another 1,000 here. Ooh, 2,000. I'm nowhere close to that, so I'll just go ahead and skip that. We are solid there. Space 55. I'm not going to battle for that one. Whoop. I'm not going to battle for that one. Okay, got some money again. Ooh, we can get this. I'm going to do 3,000. Labor. I don't think we can win that one. Skip. Skip that one. We got a sizable lead here, so I think we're good. I'll let these guys battle it out. I'm not going to try to battle for that. So you're putting our money in Y spots here. Okay, we're going to take this one over. We're going to do a whole 3,000, I think. Let's do it. Close, but I don't have the money to do for that right now. Same. I need an injection of funds. We're good on that. We're fine there. Close. Sure, I'll spend the rest of my money on that. Just got some money there. I'm not going to be able to take this from the Indies, though. They're way too far ahead. This one I can, though. We'll do 3,000. Poorly managed. Dang it. We're going to spend nothing on that canvassing. Last spot, we're going to spend 0. So in theory, I should be just winning the heck out of this because I've just been wisely investing my money. And then you get a choice if you want to extend canvassing or not. So that's like, oh, we played the rounds, we want to play some more, we didn't realize we want to play more, so on and so forth. But we're going to say no right now. The voting has started. It might be basic, but dude, like, I like the concept of this game. And it goes by real fast. I can see it with being multiple people. Yeah, it get pretty crazy. The count has started. So I lost 0 seats. I gained 9. Won it with 24 seats. I got a majority of 12 seats. Labor Party. And press enter to see result as a graph. So I followed the polling pretty well, I think. I had lots of good publicity. Yeah, let's see. You can see the results of each constituency as well. So yeah, about almost 2,000 there. A little over 2,000 there. Lost that one, but they had about 1,400. That was a pretty close one. I think I did battle for Lincoln a little bit. Yeah, that one was one I just wasn't going to touch. That one was fortunate. That started off as a good stronghold for me. But as you can imagine, as you do more, if you do like a large amount of rounds, this could sway a lot of the votes quite a bit. Even if you want to start battling for some of the battleground constituencies. But yeah, so, oh yeah, we got Fulham. Yeah, by a little bit. A little bit, it's all you need. So anyway, yeah. No thanks. I think the goal line, I'm not sure what the goal line is for. I don't know if that's just like noting, I have no idea. I'd be guessing maybe it's like if I somehow got all the spaces, I get the goal. I don't know. On the program, if it's in, well, actually, this might be machine code still. Let me see if they say in here, because some of these actually say if they're machine code compared to basic, which is kind of cool, I think. It doesn't say for this one, though, so I mean, it could be basic. I don't know. I would have thought that they would have had the program in memory still, but maybe not. But no, I don't know what the bar graph's for. Something cool, I guess. Oh. But let's try Sargon 2 again. I mean, do you think that the election game is a pretty cool little game? Do you concur with my fondness of this pretty simple property investment like game? Yeah, I hear you on that. I mean, I would assume basic as well, just because, yeah, I think all the graphics are something you can achieve with basic version 2 on the C64. It's nothing brain busting in terms of graphics. But then I guess in this case you don't really need it to be either. But I could definitely see if you got some willing participants in this, there could be some fights going on in terms of taking some of these spots. It would be really cool to have a visualization of the properties themselves. I don't call it properties, it's a lot like freaking Monopoly. But, yeah. I can see some passion coming out. Taking Birmingham or whatever. Name your constituency. And I like how it has names of candidates for each spot, too, for those seats. I mean, when it has me hit that choose a constituency space multiple times and I just do laps to get money, that's tough to overcome for someone, because I can just jump into the spot and just dump money. Be like, good luck. Oh, for sure, yeah. I think if one knew the context, if one was able to actually identify these places, that would certainly have a greater impact. I agree. I like the simple core of the game, though. If one were to get familiar with at least some of the names, it'd be easier to kind of get sold into them, especially if you knew which regions were your strongholds. I think that'd be a very cool thing. Man, you haven't found the title of the game yet. Hey, Jess. What up?
Just listening for the taking that fire.
Ah.
Doesn't have a box, so we have to close it.
Okay. Cool. All right. Have a good night, bud. And this tape ain't finding jack squat. Let's do this. Sam says hi. She says hi back. Yeah, I just learned about that keyboard shortcut for loading a tape earlier here in the stream. Hold shift, press, run, stop. Let's go. again, I may not find the program in here either because this is missing that foam pad in the inside. Yeah, it's pretty handy. I mean, usually you just type load, so, you know, it saves a couple keystrokes, but it's nothing like super crazy. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Yeah, I'm finding that out really quick. But I got impatient. You know, why be patient when I can just be impatient? Let's see what the inside of this looks like anyway. I will, of course, be of the utmost care with this cassette. But at least before I can get some additional pads, I might be able to reuse something from one of these other cassettes I have on hand. You know, just sort of rig it up, sort of deal. Yeah. So why not? I do have some dead cassettes. The first one that comes to mind is Frogger. But I have some of the other ones that are user made that don't work. Well, there's this one here that is just a sprite demo. It'd be something to where I would probably borrow the apparatus a little bit. I think this is just clipped in, right? Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do here, is just switch the pad out. Because then I can just replace something later. Yep, pretty much. That's what it looks like to me. Maybe at some point I'll get myself a set of cassettes. I mean, I probably honestly don't need to, because I can just save a program onto the SD card. And I've already done that with some of my device ID reassignment basic commands. If I know how to feed parameters to the program, that'd make it even more flexible. So I'd much rather do that than do some sort of solder business. Well, you just pop right out. Goodness gracious. There's that guy. Let me just get you back on your reel. This is the one of the user tapes here. Wasn't as wound as I was hoping. We can fix that real quick. There we go. Let's bring over Sargon 2. Let's do a little swap. Yeah, just like that. Sargon, no. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And just like that, pad is replaced in Sargon 2. I'm gonna just tighten this up to make it easier for me to put this back together. Yep, just like that. Yep, that looks good. Let's put you back on. Come on now. Come on now. You are being a butt, I tell you. There we go. There we go. Let's put Sargon 2 back together with its new pad. New pad. Everything should be alright with it. Everything looks like it's going in the proper slots. And this makes the tape work. That'd be pretty slick. So I know the little pressure foam pad there was pretty loose in the beginning. So that may have made some inconsistent reads. I've also noticed with like watching Tecmone that it is very difficult to not become nostalgic for some of the things he covers, like for the 90s tech. Like I was watching one about Kenwood hi-fi systems, and just that look of them, like, oh yeah, I feel nostalgic for seeing a hi-fi system like that. Like we never really owned something like that, but I remember like seeing friends and peers in the past having things like that, and just love that look. I do not have the room or anything for that sort of thing. Still. Let's see if it reads. It'd be really convenient if you show me a program title here soon. Perfect. Now let's see if you actually load. Oh. You look pretty good in terms of being put back in. Very good. See, this is some maintenance I'm willing to do live. Just chilling out with the C64, because I can sit down and do it. I don't have to have like the disk drive on its side and trying to move the stepper motor while looking at the screen. I might even move the C64 out to the workbench to do that business, just because, yeah, that would take a little bit of effort to do. And luckily I have all the proper setup I would need to really just get it going. Now that I got some of the work area sorted. Loading, 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 yeah. Loading, 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 yeah. It was like this, and I think one of the other user-made tapes are the ones I was using. I'm going to try to use the Apple II browser to look up how to make the... Oh, you go, girl. you go on strong with that Apple II business. I got respect. I respect. I'm still not sure if there would be any kind of browser capability for the C64. I have to look that up. It'd be cool if there is, to do something similar. I don't know. I'm wondering, does your Apple II have more memory than what my C64 does? Like when I need to get like a cassette or something to, or some sort of just like other kernel to free up enough memory to run something like that. So I believe I can always try something silly on stream. We're going to try this chess game first though to see if this actually works. Because if this ends up working, then I mean, I would feel pretty good. Bringing back one of the games that actually came in the box on a cassette. Yeah, I can try something silly on stream. I'm down for that. Gotta load in all that logic, that chess logic. I also need to... Yeah. So does the browser work with the 80 column card then for you? So I'm assuming a browser for the C64 is either going to be 40 columns or it's going to be doing like a software 80 column solution, since that seems to be pretty common way to go. I mean, if it's got a driver for my 80 column card, that'd be pretty sweet. I'd have to do some change around of my video out to get that to work on the stream. Kontiki. Let me Google that while we're waiting for this to load. Which I'm going to sit here and just assume it's going to load proper and it's going to be great. Right. And it's not a question of if it will run 80 columns, period, but it's, for the C64 at least, it's a question of how it's running those 80 columns. Because if I recall correctly, there's some certain memory remapping that happens for the 40 column device, the 40 column adapter I have, that would have to happen to be viewable in the 80 column mode. Otherwise, I think pretty much it's almost like switching between the 80 column chip and the 40 column chip in the Commodore 128. It's like that kind of situation. Let me see here. So it provides network to memory constrained systems, low power wireless Internet of Things devices. Okay. Okay. So Kentucky is seen as like an operating system of some kind then? Hey, TCP/IP stack. Cool. I got a mouse driver for the mouse too. That's cool. Let me go to their website here and see if they happen to mention anything about the 80-column card stuff. Well, it takes me to the Git repo. Cool. I'm hoping this disk is still just loading. Because it's possible, too, that it's not going to run. GitHub, 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 yeah! I see. Oh, how it's gonna go. Yeah, it's pretty similar to what it did before. Let me try the other side of the tape just in case. But this might be one done tape, man. This might be underneath a magnet or something. Just toasted it. Who knows? But yeah, that'd be my curiosity with the platform, though, is that does it do anything with my adapter? And I have some doubts that it would. It'd be cool if it did. And again, this may not do anything either for this tape. I think this tape is just toast, which is fine. That's fine. It's one of those things where not all tapes make it out of the old times, as it be. Yeah, I'm gonna call it there on this tape. Okay, well, I guess I'll get my SD card and we'll see if we get these D64 images for this doodad. Where did I set you? Where did you go? Oh. Where did you go? Mm-hmm. Test harness. Television board. There you are. So let's unplug the cassette deck. All right, let's look for this. Bum ba da bum. Kentucky. 64 images. So are you using version 3 or version 2.5, Sam? Not using that. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh, am I got to build this? I was kind of hoping I could just download some disk images, floppy images here and call it done. I'll go to Wayback Machine, see if I can get some of the priorly made disk images. At least I hope I can. That'd be a little bit easier for me to manage. I can just download them and roll with it. Okay, so I have to enter in. Okay. I have to enter an IP address I got here? You for real? Well, that's the config, but I don't want just config. Yeah, dude, am I gonna have to build these images? Because if so, that ain't happening right now. Like, I don't mind trying that later, like off stream, but I'm gonna have to sit here and set up tools and stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and do that right now. Like, I might end the stream and do it that way. Then we can just chat later. That's fine. Here, let me put up at least a C64 looking thing. Actually, oh, I know what I can do. While we wait, I can put up some fireworks. Mm-hmm. Okay. 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 Let's get those downloaded onto my SD card here. So see, like, if I have to build it, like, I'd just be like, do I really have to build this? Like, for the C64, it's not exactly an ever-changing system. Why would you have me building from source every time? That wouldn't make sense to me. Alright, let's go ahead and save that. Let me get the SD card out. Okay. Let's go ahead and open that up. Let's paste that on in. We got that. Let's get to Sam's link here. Yeah, I saw different disk standards there. Which I'm going to go with probably the three 171 kilobit ones. So which device would I use then for my Wi-Fi adapter? That'd be a question I would have. Well, they got Telnet there. IRC. Hey, wget. Cool. That's handy. I wonder if I could use my joystick for instead of a mouse. Yeah, it's like the one link I saw for releases on one of the wiki pages was where it would create a configuration file for you, which is cool, I guess, but not exactly what I want to deal with at the moment. Let's see here. Let's just do. Okay, we're gonna go to Kentucky. And I guess we're gonna go with the. I guess we can see if we can run this. Yeah, okay. So we can run this one disk. In that case, dang, what do we start with here? I guess ether config. So that's cool about the emulator, at least, is that I can load up many different kinds of disk images. So, which one am I running? that's honestly my next question, because like I'm not very familiar with the differences. So that's what RRNet is. Like there's these Ethernet cards that we're rolling with, and then ETH64. This is going to be compared to, right. As Ethernet. Well, let me see what this says here, if there's anything worth it might be, I guess it depends on how this Wi-Fi adapter is seen in terms of a network device. So I'm not sure for like exactly what it would be seen as. I mean, I could just try stuff. That's certainly in the cards. So let's just try, say, 1. Oh, yeah, it's not going to see it there. Crap. I guess we can do IP config then. Which at this point, too, again, I'm not exactly sure what my IP address would be for a Wi-Fi adapter. I can try request IP address. See what happens. How was it set up? Like, yeah, I guess that's a question. How was it set up for you for your Apple II? Gotcha, so it was kind of straightforward in that regard. Well, okay. Let's do this. Right. And it looks like this is doing the same thing. So I have the Kentucky config somewhere. I think, yeah, Kentucky config there is what's saving these. And I'm guessing that if the Ethernet controller is wrong, that IP config may not work. That's my guess. Accept address, phone number. I'm trying to see if specifically if anyone has used the Wi-Fi adapter to connect to use that browser. Support card, configure disk, next you request an IP info via DHCP, finally run a program. Yeah, and that's what I'm kind of seeing here too, is where you just run those steps, it build the config file. Yeah, not quite right now. Yeah, so our conundrum here is, so I have a Wi-Fi adapter that is, what's the chip used on it? That is a RS-232, I think? Is that the Wi-Fi adapter here? Oh, no, that's the interface port, that's my bad. But it's an ESP2866 chipset, and those Wi-Fi adapters have been running around quite a bit using the user port on the Commodore 64, and it works well for Telnet, which is fine, BBSs. But I'm trying to see with Kentucky here if there is a NIC driver or anything that it provides beyond the two Ethernet devices it has for the config, to where I can maybe use my Wi-Fi adapter then to connect to my modem, again, IP address, and start launching web browser and such. Because I can do BBS. I can dial in with, because it abstracts out the, what was the brand? Shoot. I used to remember. But anyway, the typical dial-up modem calls you would make to like the Commodore 300 modem, things like that. But in this case, I'm trying to use the modem in a slightly different way, or the NIC in a slightly different way to act as something that would resolve TCP IP stacks and such, rather than just doing a mocked up dial-up interface. Pots, just potentiometers, guys. It's all just the pots. But that is my conundrum right now, and I have a feeling that I'm not going to be able to do it with this Wi-Fi adapter. I probably need one of the other network devices, and I don't know if they built those out to a wireless interface or if it's all just Ethernet. Hayes modem. Thank you. Hayes modem. That's what I was trying to remember. Because again, like, I had the disk image here at least. So that's a plus. Let's see, I think I tried RRNet before, so I tried ETH64. Just to see if it happens to do anything here. And it's going to be... But I think that's kind of going to be the problem here, is that the Wi-Fi adapter is meant to more of mock-up from at least the Commodore 64 to the device standpoint. That Hayes modem dial-up command interface, as opposed to communicating with a true NIC in that fashion. I mean, Hayes modem's a NIC, right? It's a network interface device of some kind. But it's not going to be something to where I just straight up configure an IP address, because before it'd be you're sending commands to dial to a particular phone number, and it just happens to be that the way the device works is you can send a command plus host names and IP addresses, and it'll resolve them for you. Just because the action's taken, it's not like a true dial-in interaction. Well, true. If I was using a simple telemodem, lucky for me at least, the Wi-Fi adapter I have abstracts those calls out where I don't really need to actually be part of a phone line ISP of any kind. It just abstracts out those calls that you do with a haste modem to something that actually communicates. Again, I'm assuming it's TCP/IP it's connecting to my modem with, but I can give it SSID stuff and whatnot. It'll connect to my router here, and I'm able to do BBSs and stuff just fine. It's more of when using specifically Kentucky, can I configure this and resolve it to set up an IP address? The other option, which I guess I could do, because see it just crashes there. The other option I could try to do, I suppose, is technically I could write the configuration myself outside of these applications. That's actually how some of the earlier Kentucky stuff ran, is you have like a almost like a web app, but it's essentially an HTML page where you could put in your IP address and everything, and it would generate a config for you. So I could drop that onto my, I have an SD card adapter for my loading up drive images right now. I could probably do that, but I still don't know if it's going to resolve my actual network device. Let me try to I might just try to launch the browser, see what happens. I just can't remember what the browser program's name is. I guess web browser, because I'm assuming web browser 80 would be for the 80 column. That might actually, you know what? That might work with my. So I have a BI 80 80 column adapter, and if this is all running text mode, I might be able to actually run that through my 80 column adapter if it's all just running ASCII stuff. Well, the character set for the Commodore 64 ROMs, I know it's not just ASCII. I think it's PETSCII. It says running because it has the graphic fonts too. But if I get this configured right, I might be able to run that just the 80 column adapter. That would be pretty slick. But I'm assuming like the CS8900A.eth and the LAN 91C96.eth, those are probably all Ethernet drivers of some kind. So right now with the Wi-Fi adapter, it's running at 9600 baud. Apparently there's some trickery that's done to pull that off, and it's actually a bit of a hassle to set up the configuration, because you have to set up the configuration and save it to the flash memory of the modem, as well as have your given terminal program you're using with that same baud rate. Otherwise, characters get messed up on the screen and you can't get any keyboard input. So it's a bit of a juggling act to get that initially set up. Once it's set up, though, yeah, 9600 seems to be the max on the C64. I guess on the Commodore 128, you can go a little bit higher. But, I mean, and for most BBSs, like I was running 2400 for a bit for some of the other BBSs. It ran fine. And I wasn't doing anything hardcore. I think it'd be, if there's anything that's providing faster. Right on. Yeah. So it seems like that's kind of the threshold for the C64, which, honestly, it's good enough. Now again, I mean, also, Kentucky is open source, so if for whatever reason the Wi-Fi adapter is not supported, I don't know if there is a reasonable way to bring compatibility in, because that would, like, for me, that'd be convenient, because then I can use this IRC program it's got wget, so I can download I can download whole packages straight to a disk, which with this SD card adapter, I just bring stuff down all day and it'd be fine. You also have telnet, basic telnet stuff, which I'm pretty much using anyway with my other terminal programs for BBSs and stuff. So, I mean, like, it feels like all the pieces should be there. It's just the actual adapter driver, is that really there, right? Because, I mean, I'm doing similar functionality with, and this is my ignorance on how these terminal programs work, just because I haven't used them very much, and I don't know exactly how they're put together. It sounds like to me that part of it is going to be what sort of command interface I'm going to have with the device, and kind of figuring out what sort of actual driver, what kind of availability would I have with building a driver to communicate with the device. Because I don't know, like, for the Wi-Fi adapter, I don't know how abstracted the actual network implementation is from the C64, since it's trying to mock up this Hayes modem command interface. I'll be trying to launch a web browser, but again, I don't have an IP address configured for it. Yeah. So I think right now, without having the proper device driver, I'm not going to be able to actually configure this thing properly or run the web browser. Furthermore, you saw a cursor on the screen. There is a driver that gives you support for the mouse that goes with the Commodore 64. I would hope that I could use a joystick to do that, because as far as I can tell, for some of the implementation of the mouse, I think it's usually digital input, not analog input. So, well, there's that, but then also, like, what kind of actual, what would you call it? Not necessarily granularity, but that sort of precision with the mouse. How much are you gonna have for the precision of a Commodore 64 mouse? On top of the fact that I can't use my Amiga mouse on it. Like, I have an Amiga Tank mouse over there in the corner, but because it's a different mouse, and like maybe I can get an adapter or something, I can't use that with, like, I have Final Cartridge 3 that can use the mouse. Or it looks like these web browsers could. I can't just throw my Amiga mouse on there. If there's an adapter, that'd probably be the way to go, because otherwise you're paying collector pricing for a C64 mouse, when most stuff is not going to use the mouse. On top of that, I've used like some emulated mice stuff with a joystick, and that works just fine. And if I'm doing like just like wget requests for like text and such for a browser that'd be running on this, I don't need much. I don't need the mouse if I got the joystick, which everyone's going to have a joystick with their freaking C64. I mean, come on. So in short, it looks like right now I would need to have a different network device to do this, which could be done. It looks like there are other sellers out there for other sellers for the Ethernet NICs and such. And I could probably do that. I would hope there's one that's also like wireless. Otherwise, I would have to... I mean, I could string an Ethernet cord over here. I do have one that's close to the C64. But otherwise, I could do like an Ethernet to Wi-Fi adapter solution or something just to do it. Oh, thank you, Sam. Much appreciated. And it looks like, I think a lot of those plug into the cartridge port, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Could you validate? I don't know which one you picked up, but could you validate that for me? If so, then that is going to probably prevent me from using my 80 column adapter, since there's only one cartridge port on this, right? And I thought I saw someone use I think I saw someone have it almost looked like a breakout board from the cartridge slot, where I think they're able to plug in multiple carts into the same slot. Could be completely off base with that. But, I mean, if that's possible, that might make it a little more convenient for me to. Oh, actually, you know what? Duh. So what I could do here, if it would so work, I think that's what I want. If it would actually work, maybe I could have. No, because it's all hardware. I can't just like mock it up with the drive. I'm not. It's not like I'm. It's more than just loading a kernel. There's actual hardware attached. I can't just do that. But I think there is like a multi-cart sort of slot solution for the C64. I think so. Yeah, I think it's called like a cartridge port expander. Or is this like it's a selectable thing, so I don't think that would work. Because I mean, logically, it shouldn't work either because it's probably, it's remapping memory space from the cartridge slot, and there's a lot of like hardware stuff going on with that. Like you're not just going to swap out full hardware lines live like that. It's not going to be hot swappable or anything. So also because it's past midnight my time, it's July 4th. How about some fireworks? This is the fireworks celebration kit by, was it Activision? Yeah, of course it's cracked, because, yeah. So I guess that allows you to select different carts, which could be kind of cool. Oh, right on. So yeah, that's what it's all about. Just get TCP/IP stack going on this bad boy. You're good. You're good. So I'm looking up this port expander. I wonder if it would allow you to run a couple different carts at the same time. Like in my case, it would be very handy to be able to have, say, this NIC plus my 80 column adapter plugged in. Like that would be pretty slick. I don't think that would be possible though. The only other question would be, do they make NICs that go into the user port? No. So at least with the RRNet Net MK3, for example, this was done by individual computers, which I got a lot of Amiga stuff from them actually before. This is like if we go into the expansion port of the C64, it can be plugged into the expansion ports of the like an MMC Replay, MMC 64, Retro Replay, and Turbo Chameleon 64. And it's showing all kinds of stuff you can run with it, like Kentucky is one of them, which you run Kentucky, dude, you're good to go. Because you got all kinds of web services, you have an OS thing you can mess with. Honestly, it might be even implementing that TCP/IP stack that you're finding on GitHub there, like all kinds of stuff. Oh, cool, so there's like... So this might be kind of neat. They have a couple of games that do multiplayer with the RRNet NIC. There's a racing game and a Scorched Earth / Pocket Tanks / Artillery game that can use the RRNet or ETH64. That's pretty cool. I mean, I might have to just experiment with it in my own time and just try to use a port expander with the 80 column adapter and a NIC of some kind. Because all these, I'm pretty sure, just using... There's no like build of these that's going to not use the cartridge slot. Yeah. Because if I wanted to have like the ultimate solution, it would be finding a way to use this Wi-Fi adapter with it, which would be really cool. Because again, that's using the user port, so cartridge port's free for whatever. There's a couple terminal programs able to use that support 80 column, and specifically my 80 column device, because they're not just using like the plain text mode all the time that would be on the menu for the C64. I don't know. So those are future adventures with this thing. But again, happy 4th of July, everyone. We got fireworks. You can stay inside and watch them now. I might even run this later on today, because we're having to stay indoors today for the holiday. So I might just end up doing that. Oh, Alley Cat, was it the CC65/IP65 stack you saw? So it looks like that might be what's being used with the, yeah, that looks like it's being used both with the RRNet and the ETH64. That's probably honestly being used with some of the stuff my brother's using for his Apple II also. Which makes sense. Dang it, I want 80 columns and Kontiki OS. Alright, well, I think I'll call the stream there, because what have we done? For those who just joined up, you probably missed out. I was trying out some cartridge games, or some cassette games I got from Etsy, actually. So it was Raging Beast, which was a Matador kind of game where you are having to, as this very small avatar, wave a red cape in front of a bull, and as you olay them. Right. I mean, I'm assuming that's what the user port is a serial port. Is that correct? I'm actually not very knowledgeable on what that port actually is, except for user port. Which, then again, there are... I mean, that's actually what I'm looking at for my Macintosh PowerBook 165 as a serial to Wi-Fi solution. Which actually, it's using the same chipset, so that's got to be what's happening there. It's the same stupid Wi-Fi chipset, so yeah. So yeah, that'd be convenient if there was that support of serial to whatever kind of network stack we're dealing with. I don't know. Anyway, so we covered Raging Beast, again, your Matador game points score for Waving Away Bull. Try the election game, which looks like a basic made game, though, at least after I ended the game. Oh, 2 serial ports. Ah, okay. But it looks like it's a basic game, just because it's pure text and some very basic graphics. Looks like it's using maybe some some character set graphics for it. But I don't know if it just unloads what's in memory after the game ends, because I tried doing a list afterward, but it just didn't show. And when I at least load the cassette, it auto runs it, so I don't have a chance to just, unless maybe I did like interrupted the program loading or something. I could probably do something like that. Anyway, which is like the election game acts like a board game where you race around the board trying to buy up constituencies for votes for different seats in Parliament. but there's no actual like view of a board. It's all just based on the number square you're on, and it kind of just gives you a bunch of text output. But actually, it's a really cool game where you are having to balance out the economy of money you have to try to influence certain constituencies, since the strength of different political parties at each one differs greatly, and so it's kind of like invest wisely to take seats based on how many turns are left, and then you get injections of money into your budget based on passing halfway around the board or a full way around the board, kind of like passing Go in Monopoly. That's kind of a salary you get. And then there was Turbo 64, which was the one game out of the bunch that actually had DRM, where he gives you this. Let's see if it'll show up on camera or not here. But it's basically a big giant 3-color dot grid that's like 54 by 83, and just a bunch of dots. And so the game would give you some coordinates, and you have to follow those to get to a particular dot. I'm assuming it's because it'd be very difficult to copy or memorize this to deter piracy, right? But luckily it came with it, so I can actually, without having to find a cracked copy, load the game up and run it. And it plays a lot like your basic racing game, similar to, what was the Atari game called? Pole Position. Basically a lot like Pole Position and any of those other basic single-player, solitaire racing games. Race against the clock, do laps, try to get a score based on your performance, not crashing, things like that. But for $5 each, buying a cassette, and they all actually work in the dataset player, not bad. Not bad. Then we started looking to Kentucky, and that's where we got here, where it's just sort of discovering that not going to be able to really do much with that right now, and we have to finagle things. But that might be future hopes and dreams, is having a serial solution for a network device, and have that be compatible with that, something really cool like Kentucky. But with fireworks and all that explanation, I think I'm going to call it there for the night, and probably do some cleanup. So, for those of you watching the stream, thank you so much for joining, just dinking around my Commodore 64, learning things, blah, 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 whatnot. Probably do something Monday, I think, for streaming. I'm hopefully have things cleaned up where I can jump back to doing some Madden games or some Star Control 2 on a 3DO. We'll find out. Depends on what gets cleaned up. But otherwise, have a good 4th of July. You know, grill some stuff. Watch some fireworks if you can. You know, get some R&R. Relax. Have some fun. But until next time, see you later, play some games, and thanks a bunch.